This 14-year-old boy was just trying to walk home from school.
He's a young boy, bro. He's a young boy. Look, you're being a bit aggressive.
But the police mistook him for a nearby robbery suspect. Despite his pleas of innocence, he was handcuffed and thrown to the ground. Later, the officers released him without arrest, after admitting he was the wrong person. The stop and search has left him physically and mentally traumatised.
I was scared. I thought I was going to die, because this has never happened to me, so I was surprised.
Today, alongside his mum, he visited hospital to assess his injuries. Doctors say Deshaun has bruising to his back. When the police approached you, at any point did they explain why they were putting you in handcuffs?
No, they just came, snatched the phone, ended the call, and then they put me in handcuffs, put me against the wall.
Deshaun suffers from asthma. His mum ran to be by his side after a concerned member of the public called her about what was happening to her son. Janet, as you watch the moment the police are on top of your son, what goes through your mind?
Of course, straight away you think of George Floyd. He's a 14-year-old boy. You've got the police on his back, you've got them on his leg. Further in the video you see another police, so there's 3 of him on top of him. So, you know, any parent shouldn't have to go through this. It's a worst parent's nightmare.
Until you determine that's the young man that's done it.
He matches the description.
The suspect the police say they were looking for was wearing a blue hoodie, but Deshaun was wearing this grey top and his school uniform.
It's the same old story, isn't it? Every black boy fits the description. This is a grey top. This is the top he was wearing yesterday. The top they said was navy blue, a navy blue hoodie. He had his complete school uniform on, which is orange and black. You can identify the difference. There's no excuse for what they did to my son and the excessive force they used on a 14-year-old black boy.
The police told ITV News an initial review of the incident has been conducted by the Met's Directorate of Professional Standards, and no misconduct is apparent to them, but they acknowledge a public complaint has been made. Members of the public filmed the stop and search after being concerned for Deshaun's welfare.
I feel like so many people are desensitised when they see police manhandling or dehumanising or adultifying our children. They keep walking because we're so used to seeing it, perhaps, or maybe they just don't want to get involved. But as a mum with my own son in the car, I thought that could have been my child.
Deshaun's mother says she is now afraid each time her son walks home from school. Antoine Allen, ITV News.
And let them talk to you, yeah? Don't let them grip you down on the ground like that.
How we doing, guys? Myself, Chris Predit, OBE here, and you have a quick one. Real talk, true season, look, a walk and talk right now. And I just want to address this only because, it's true what the mother's saying, no mother now even wants their son to be going out or even walking down the street because they have a fear of that their son is going to be brutalized, or if not, is going to be seen as aggressor, seen as an attacker. Do you know what it's like to grow up your child and let your child know that just because of the colour of your skin, you're going to be stopped? Just because of the colour of your skin, they're going to think you're aggressive. Just because of the colour of your skin, they're going to think that you're a criminal. And this is what we're saying to young black boys and young ethnic boys within our community that are under the age of 25 or even 30s. You still get young, older men still getting stopped by the police and still not even caring, and everyone's looking at it in the sense of, okay, well, there's a lot of life crime, Chris. There's a lot of black on black knife crime. There's a lot of people in the streets running around doing their thing and everything. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, I get it. But to what degree? To the degree that when we're sitting there and we're talking about Birmingham, we're sitting there talking about Manchester, we're sitting there talking about Scotland. If you want to talk about all these kind of places, there's not a lot of black communities within that kind of places. If you go down to Scotland, you're going to be seeing a lot of knife crime within the white community. If you go down to the suburban areas like Plymouth, you're going to see a lot of the white knife crime in that community. So you're going to see kids getting stopped and searched, but not to the degree that when our young people get stopped and searched. And when they get stopped and searched, like I said, they're always seen as the aggressor. They're always seen as the criminal. Like the woman said, we just walk past like we don't even care. You know the ones there where we look, oh, what's my man done now, man? Oh, these youths, man, they always need to just pattern up. Don't get me wrong, we've got a big epidemic. Don't get me wrong, we've got these young kids running around and they are carrying big knives. But you need to make sure that you're actually approaching the system with not even like that, but approaching the situation where you know that you've got all the information and all the evidence. Like they even say, they just stop and say, yeah, you met the description, and then it comes down to that the boy was wearing a navy blue top to a grey top, and he had a school uniform on, and he was letting you know that, listen, I've just come back from school, and it still took 3 or 4 of you to throw him to the ground. Like the mother said, she felt like George Floyd. Imagine that. Imagine a parent, imagine a mother being called, or if not, seeing a video going around and everyone saying, rah, like, you know, one's there, your son was getting held up, and she could be in a situation where it could have been a George Floyd situation. What would we been saying then? We've been hearing about young kids dying in police custody. There's only a few weeks ago, I think it was last year, a young man died in police custody. We're still going down and still trying to get justice for that. We're still only getting justice right now for Child Q. We're still trying to get justice for that. So once again, I just put up a post about Boris Johnson, and these guys all mess up the whole system and everything, but still not taking no accountability. My fact is that the point is in the sense of, okay, Metropolitan Police, you're sitting there saying that, oh, you know, we had to carry out our search and it's the All Ground Act and there's a lot of knife crime within the area and all the rest of it. But what about the youth clubs? What about the rehabilitation? What about a lot of these services that need to start giving back? Sainsbury's, Morrison's. What about Amazon? What about all you organisations that got your crabby little hands inside the community, inside these areas where you're making money off the back of these young people, in a sense of making sure that they're glorifying the life, glorifying the gang life, JD Sports and all the rest of it, Moncler, Balenciagas. You lot all creating, or if not making benefits off the back of the young people, but at the same time you don't want to help the community. At the same time you don't want to put back into the community. At the same time you don't feel obligated, and then we sit there and say, oh, we've got a big knife problem, but we don't go out to the manufacturers that actually create the knives. We don't go out certain companies that are making these masks, that are making these tools for these young people. They get away with it, but our young people get scrutinized for it. We're not coming at these A&R companies. We're not coming at YouTube. We're not coming at BBC One Extra. We're not coming at the radio. We're not coming at TV shows when they're putting up their little programs, and BBC does it, and if they're putting up about knife crime or their documentaries, it's fine. But all of a sudden, when young people are running around on the streets because their access of what they see is just straight violence, straight gangs, straight knives with no opportunities, and the small little parts of opportunities that they do have, it's like the glass mirror for their life. And like someone even said, it's about a village. Yeah, a child can sit there and have a parent. A child can sit there and have great role models around them. But at the same time, it's these older men that's running around on the road, making them feel like this life is great. I was just in a youth club just the other day. This kid's telling me, bruv, yeah, it's all about the bando. It's all about going country. It's all about going country. Man's going country to earn £1,200. £1,200, I have to make man look and say, bruv, you're doing that for 24 hours. £1,200. Let's break it down. Let's break down the math. So you've been there all day, 24 hours, risking your life for £1,200. Someone could stab you. Police is going to run up in there. And I said, if you even got caught, okay, cool. How much sentence would you got for that? About 7, 8? Okay, for £1,200, does it even seem worth it for 8 years? And then you're saying to yourself, what is your value? You can go Tesco's and stack shelves for 27 bags. If you're not even getting 5 grand out of that, that means you're less than a bag a year. You're down to pennies now. You're down to chump change. And you think doing that for 24 hours inside a trap or a bando because this older guy's gassed you up and made you believe the life. So yes, it is about the village. Yes, it is about a lot of us, but it's also down to the government and not putting systems in place. And if not, us not seeing the justice, or if not, us not seeing the accountability when it's time to be showing that accountability. You look at us, you look at our young people. Where's the parents? Where's the parents? Even I say it. Where's the parents? Teachers, you need to pattern up. This person needs to pattern up. And then we expect them to do it, but the government don't expect to do nothing. You make mistakes and you just look at us and say, oh, it's not our problem. You come out of initiatives, oh, it didn't work. You give money to the same organisations. You give money to all your local friends and all the rest of it, but we don't see nothing. You keep talking about your spending. Where's the money going? But these are the kind of times where it's worrying for a lot of parents when their kids are being stopped and searched around in our community. And if we don't step up as a community patrol, if we don't step up and make sure that we are filming these videos and making sure that they're held accountable, once again, we can't let this one slide. Yes, it's gone on ITV because they want it to be a little bit of a news. It's a little bit of a strapline for them. But right now, we need to continue these kind of things. But what's you guys' thoughts? Comment below.